Good morning. So, indeed, my name is Dave Hakkens, and I am a designer from the Netherlands, in case you don't know where that is. And as a designer, I often like to start with a problem. And one of the older projects I did was a problem I saw was when you have a pen, the only thing you really need is the ink that is inside, and the rest is there just to hold that ink, which you, in the end, you just throw away. So I was thinking, what if you could eat that pen? So in the end, you don't have any plastic waste. It's just sort of like, yeah, gone. You ate it. And you could have this in multiple flavors, like watermelon or orange. And yeah, so this was kind of a fun project to work on. But I was thinking, like, okay, maybe I should focus on something a bit more important or bigger. So another project I started was about plastic waste. So basically, a problem like we have a lot of plastic waste in the world. And I especially got interested when I heard that less than 10% of all our plastic gets recycled. So of the millions of tons we produce each year, most of it ends up in the wrong place. It's either getting burned, goes to the landfill, or into the ocean. And basically, all three ways are just shitty. Because plastic itself, when I was looking at it, if you have like some plastic waste, you can chop it into small pieces, and with some pressure and heating, you can just mold it into something new, which is kind of cool. But this isn't really happening, so I was wondering why. Why does so little get recycled? So I just started researching that topic. So from really going out there in the plastic industry to see how the materials are being made from the raw material, to where it's being transformed into a product, to where a guy handles all the logistics behind it, where the machines that make the products are being developed, where transport goes, and in the end, what happens to it when you recycle it. And just to understand, like, what is the problem, where does it go wrong? So I mapped it out for you. So roughly, it starts in production. So that's where something from plastic is being made. It goes to a shop, you buy it, you use it, and then you throw it away. And I was particularly interested in the 10% that gets recycled, like what happens with that. So basically, a company or a truck picks it up, it's being sorted out to another company that washes it, another one that shreds it, then back to stabilization, and then it goes into production. Basically, a lot of steps, quite complex, and new oil is just cheaper, so companies just prefer to not recycle. So I was thinking, what if I could make this simpler? What if you could bring it to a guy like me? I'll just take care of it, I turn it into something new, and it can go straight back into the shop. But when I was thinking about this, I realized, like, it's kind of difficult to make something with plastic. If you want to make something from wood, you get a hammer and a saw, you make something. If you want to make something from metal, you get a grinder and a welding machine, and you can do it. But if you want to make something from plastic, the tools aren't really out there. They're only really for the very big industry, and they cost like hundreds of thousands of euros, or, well, yourself, you just can't. So I was thinking maybe I should design these machines, simplify the ones that the industry has, but just making them more accessible. And by doing so, I also wanted to make sure that these machines can be replicated. So I did a big material research in Ghana and Kenya to see what kind of tools and materials are used throughout the world, and also what kind of machines do they build now, because we don't want to over-complex them so that they're only used in the developed world. So basically, in the end, made 4 different machines. You have an injector, an extruder, a shredder, and a compression machine. Basically, the shredder chops it into small flakes, and the other machines can make something new out of that. But besides making machines, I also had to learn a lot about plastic. Like, I don't really know the different types of plastic, like polypropylene, polystyrene, and what happens when you melt them, what is the melting temperature, how do they behave differently, and if you melt it, how does the material flow, and if you melt it, does it really come out the same way as you want it? So there was basically just a lot to learn about plastic itself, because I just didn't really know that much about it, and there's very little information available. And in the end, I made well, a little video that shows you how the machines work. because it explains it better than I would. Thank you. Thanks. So basically with this machine you can make all sort of stuff like pots and pans or clipboards, some beams to construct things, iPhone case, tiles, basically just a lot of things. But one crucial part is that this is just my workspace in the Netherlands, which is one place in the world. But plastic recycling kind of needs to happen all over the place because it's everywhere. So in order of me flying to every place to set up a space like this, one crucial part is that we share all the drawings open source online for free. So all the blueprints on how to build these machines, but also step-by-step instruction videos, some stickers that help people to build it, the technical drawings, the CAD models, really like this complete package on how to recycle plastic, so everyone in the world can just download it and start themselves locally. And the fun thing is, once you put it online, it also kind of happens. So you have people over the world building these machines. So here's in Spain, here they're building a shredder in Brazil, a set being built in South Korea, some students in Budapest, in Uganda, students in Mexico, makerspace in China, in Indonesia, some guys in Spain that use it to educate students, also little kids to show what plastic does to the world. But you even have companies using it. So for instance, here you have Lush. I don't know if you know them. They make soaps and stuff. They built our extruder machine for their packaging, so it was in one of their stores. Or recently we found the one from Corona, the beer brand. They built a set of our machines. And in a way, we like it. It's all open source for free. Use whatever you want. The more people recycling plastic, the better. So you also have people that actually build our machines and improve them, which is fun for us. But they also sell them. So this guy is a machine builder, and he just makes his living on selling these machines. So if you now have the world map, we have about 350 of these workspaces around the world, with like a new one every week. So that's kind of fun, but also like not enough. So we also recently introduced this feature that you could add yourself to the map if you want to get started, because maybe it's too difficult to start yourself, or maybe you don't have the skills, so then locally you could see, hey, many more people want to get started, so you could collaborate. So people could add a pin if they wanted to get started, which is in fact way more. So we're always trying to make it easier for people to start. So here's one shot in Cape Town where you can see, yeah, many more people want to start. And one final thing I want to show you guys is also something we recently introduced, is our online bazaar. So we like it if people make their money on plastic recycling. And this is like an online place where people can sell the products they made, but also parts for the machines. So you could really sell the parts and make your money out of that. But also it helps people that want to get started. If they don't know how to build a machine, they can just buy one. And obviously in the end, you can also sell the things you made with it. Really trying to get this economy behind recycling plastic. So that's my project, Precious Plastic. Thank you.